Before I moved to Kyoto, a lot of people told me transportation won't be a problem. Kyoto only has 2 subway lines. Somehow inferring, or at least it seemed that way to me, that Kyoto didn't have a complex and modern transportation system as, say, Tokyo. While it is true that Kyoto only has 2 subway lines, there are several other types of train lines as well as buses. Let's start off with the subway. The 2 lines are the green Karasuma line and the red Tozai line. The Karasuma line runs from Kokusai Kaikan in the north to Takeda in the south, and the Tozai line runs from Rokujizo in the east to Usumasa Tenjingawa in the west. The Karasuma line has 15 stops, while the Tozai line has 17. Important stops includes Karasuma Oike, where the 2 lines meet, Nijojo, where as the name implies the Nijo castle lies, Yamashina, where you transfer to go towards Lake Biwa, and of course Kyoto Station. Interestingly, the Karasuma line has the somewhat standard waist-high wall in front of the tracks, which I think should be standard on any subway, by the way, making accidents like blind people walking onto the tracks or even suicide and murder harder. The Tozai line goes even further with complete walls and doors in front of their tracks. Going by subway or any kind of train in Japan, first you need either a ticket or an IC card such as Suica, Pasmo or equivalent. Different regions in Japan have their own kind of IC card, but Suica and Pasmo usually works everywhere, except Okinawa. IC cards need to be charged with money, then you can pay like normal by scanning the card. Now something that's good to know beforehand is that in Japan, unlike Sweden for instance, you have to use your card or ticket twice, first going in and also going out. Do not throw away or tear up your ticket after you've entered, like I did once after riding the shinkansen. I thought, what, I need a ticket to get out? What the hell? But that's how it works in Japan. When you buy a ticket, you go to the ticket machine, and instead of entering your destination first and then paying, you instead look on the route map, find your destination, and pay the corresponding fee. Then you can go to your destination, or get off early if you so wish. But keep in mind, if you do that, when you go out, the gate keeps your ticket and you can't get it back. The route maps have both Japanese and English station names available for the most part, but JR can sometimes be spotty, so if possible, find out the kanji for your intended station beforehand. Also, if you should by intent or mistake ride a train longer than your ticket covers, you have to go to what's called a fare adjustment machine and pay the difference to be able to get out of the gate. The inside of the subway cars is in the style of seats by the wall, different from Sweden, which is more like a bus setup, but I think in general pretty common in the world. There are rings to hold on to all along the ceiling, unlike Sweden, and there are priority seats where old people, pregnant women and such are supposed to sit. The subway of course runs underground, but it's far from the only train line. There are 4 more: Keihan, Hankyu, Kintetsu and JR. The Keihan and Hankyu lines are pretty much Osaka lines, with Hankyu also leading to Arashiyama. Hankyu connects to the subway via Shijo on the Karasuma line, while Keihan is more separate. The Kintetsu line covers a wide net, running to Osaka, Kobe, Nara and even Nagoya. It connects to the subway at the Karasuma line's end stop at Takeda, where you can simply get out of the subway train, go to the other side of the platform and get on a Kintetsu train. Pretty smooth. Lastly, there's the JR trains. JR being Japan Rail, the national train service of Japan, and they run pretty much all over the place. The non-subway trains all have 4 different kinds of services: local, semi-express, express and special rapid. Local stops at all stops, taking the most time to arrive. Semi-express skips a few stops but not that many. Express skips several stops. And special rapid only stops a few times, making it the fastest option. With JR, Keihan and Hankyu, you pay your ticket and then take whichever train you want, be it local or special rapid. But Kintetsu takes an extra fee for express trains. To make up for this, so to speak, the other trains have special services that cost extra. JR has the green car, which as far as I know is not green as in environmental, but as in first class. The same goes for Keihan, which has the premium car, which you need to pay extra for. But on the other hand, you have a guaranteed seat, and it's very nice and roomy. Hankyu doesn't have a special service as far as I can find. To plan your trip, the website Hyperdia is excellent. You can also download the app Yahoo Norikai Annai. So what about the prices? Well, as far as I know, there's no train ride you can take for under 100 yen. Usually not under 200 either, but that does happen sometimes. The subway in Kyoto ranges from 210 yen to 320 for adults and 110 to 160 for children. Traveling by Keihan to Osaka costs 410 yen. The Kintetsu to Nara costs 620, JR to Kobe 1100, and JR to Nagoya costs 2590. Trains in Japan run from early morning to about midnight, sometimes one in the morning. There is no around-the-clock service, but on certain holidays like New Year's Eve they do pull an all-nighter because they know a lot of people are going to be out very late. This might be a switch for some people. I was used to Stockholm subway running all night on weekends, but here that's not the case. After 1 o'clock you have to walk, take a cab or a night bus. Speaking of buses, Kyoto's main city buses has a flat rate of 230 yen, and they run in the center of the town, which is actually a pretty wide area, at least I think so. You get on the bus in the middle instead of the front, and you don't pay until you get off, which you do from the front. You have to put in the exact amount or lose your change, however you can break down 1000 yen bills with a change machine. You can also use an IC card. Buses outside the center that don't have a flat rate, you still get on in the middle and out the front like normal, but when you get on you also take a ticket, which has a different number on it depending on when you got on. In the front of the bus is a screen with a grid and fee numbers which change over the time you ride. So if you got on with a number 5 and 5 says 160 yen, keep track of it, and when you get off, whatever fee is displayed is what you pay. This is more common knowledge, but I should mention the shinkansen as well. It's very fast, but very expensive. Going to Tokyo from Kyoto costs about 13,000 yen. It is a little strange though, because the actual fare is about half that, but just for the honor of riding the shinkansen or something, it costs about the same amount extra, the so-called Super Express fare. Once I used the shinkansen, bought a ticket in the machine, and it only charged me for the fare and not the Super Express, so the gate didn't let me in and I couldn't go. I had to pay the express ticket in the window, which is a little weird. If you go to a manned window in the first place to buy a shinkansen ticket, you will pay for everything at once, which is more practical of course. Shinkansen from Kyoto to Osaka, Kobe or even Nagoya isn't that expensive, but it's still cheaper to take any of the train lines, usually about half the price. So it's up to you which you prioritize, speed or price. And for nationwide bus trips, I recommend Wheeler Express. I don't know if this counts, but very last I'll mention bicycles. Bikes are cheap to buy in Japan, cheap to rent, and of course fun to ride like bicycles always are. However, Japan doesn't seem to have many dedicated bike lanes, at least Kyoto doesn't. People ride on the sidewalks a lot, which I don't think is even legal unlike say Sweden. So when you're walking on a sidewalk, don't swerve around or you might get hit by a biker. Kyoto is very grid-based and has a lot of small streets that as a Swede reminds me more of walking-only streets, but they do allow cars on them, so if you're biking you need to stop at every crossroad, of which there are many. I haven't gotten a bike yet, but I imagine it would get a bit annoying. Oh, and cars. I don't have a license, so that's not really a part of my life at all. All I can say about that is, they drive on the left side here like England, and parking lots are much smaller than you're probably used to. Anyway, that's my rundown of the transportation options in Kyoto. There are a lot of them. Don't take people's "oh, they only have 2 subway lines" as an indication that there aren't many options, because there are.